We did nothing wrong!
Yeah, we did. We were supposed to fight for people who couldn't fight for themselves.
Says the prophet Jeremiah in Jeremiah chapter 32. The great, the mighty God, the Lord of hosts is his name. Great in counsel, mighty in work, for thine eyes are open upon all the ways of the sons of men, to give everyone according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings, which has set signs and wonders in the land of Egypt, even unto this day. And there's another passage in Isaiah chapter 19 that talks about an altar placed in the midst of Egypt. And that may correlate here as well to our discussion, which will be on the Great Pyramid of Giza and some of the things that we have uncovered that connects it to biblical concepts and ideas. But we want to also talk about first two other studies that are much more thorough and extensive. We don't have the time to cover everything and the topics that they have brought up, but there is a study called The Universe and the Pyramids by a Brian Donovan, who is an instructor down in Pensacola, Florida, I believe at Ruckman School and Church. And then there is also a study, The Great Pyramid Decoded, by Capt, and you might be able to find that in a rare books collection somewhere if it's out of print. But the Great Pyramid of Giza connects with the Bible in so many ways that it is still, in fact, considered one of the seven wonders of the world. And some of the things that we've uncovered in our studies. First, we want to talk about the Hebrew letter Dalet. So we have Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, which is the fourth letter. Remember the number 4 for this study. It's going to be extremely significant. In simplified square script, the Dalet looks like this. However, in Paleo-Hebrew script, ancient Hebrew script, the letter looks like this. And then the Greeks, borrowing this shape of the letter, geometric shape of the letter, bring it over to their letter for delta, and it looks like this. The Dalet literally means, as each letter in the Hebrew alphabet has a significant primary meaning, it literally means door and gateway. The letter Dalet is the fourth letter in the Hebrew alphabet. The letter Dalet's first appearance in the Bible is in the 4th verse of the Bible, Vayavdel. And that word literally means to separate the light from the darkness. So the gateway from the light to the darkness and from the darkness to the light. There are 4 faces, 4 lateral faces on the pyramid of Giza. The earth number is considered to be the number 4. Remember, there are 4 cardinal directions. And by the way, the Great Pyramid of Giza is situated almost exactly in the 4 cardinal directions. In other words, the north face facing exactly to the north, the south face to the south, the east face to the east, and the west face to the west. It's only 3 minutes of 1 degree off of exact. And with over 4,600 years of settling and the landscaping given way, this then would account for the fact that it's off by 3 minutes of a degree, of 1 degree. But just to bring it into context and into perspective for a moment, the Paris Observatory, built in modern times with the intention of being exact, was in fact, upon its completion, 6 minutes of a degree off of the 4 cardinal directions. So just to give you an idea of what we're dealing with, or who we're dealing with here. Of course, we're dealing with God. Whether God used certain spiritual entities to assist humans or not, and whether he laid it out himself or not. Each of those blocks weighing, some of them up to 22 tons each, perfectly arranged. The galleyways and the passageways lining up with the stars. We cannot replicate this wonder today. Let's continue on. There are 4 Gospels. There more than likely is a correlation between the fact that there are 4 Gospels and the letter Dalet, and the fact that the pyramid has 4 lateral faces. There are 4 cherubim, Ezekiel chapter 1, with 4 faces, Ezekiel chapter 1, and 4 wings, Ezekiel chapter 1. Just a coincidence, I suppose. These cherubim and their faces represent the earthly surface creatures and the 4 kingdoms of the earthly surface creatures. The eagle, the undisputed king of the birds; the lion, the undisputed king of wild beasts; the ox, the undisputed king of domestic animals; and the man, who is the undisputed royal crown of God's entire creation. And this is why, as the undisputed man, being the undisputed king of God's creation, the Messiah is referred to as Melech HaMelachim, the King of Kings. There are, in fact, 4 kingdoms mentioned in Daniel chapter 2 upon the earth, and the last of these earthly kingdoms in human history is the 4th kingdom, Daniel chapter 2. There are, in fact, 4 watches. Remember what Jesus said. If you compare Mark chapter 6 and Mark chapter 13, the indication is that Jesus will come in the 4th watch, and he will bring his kingdom to the earth and rule and reign from Jerusalem. The 4th watch. Let's not forget what Jesus said in John chapter 10. I am the door. I am, in a sense, the gateway. Again, showing a connection between the symbology of the pyramid and what God is trying to say by the construction of the pyramid, and comparing it and showing the parallels with it to Bible truths. Something else that's interesting. This geometric shape, similar to this geometric shape and this geometric shape, but flipped upside down in the form of a quadrant. That is the Nile Delta quadrant area. If we map this out, the very southern tip exactly of the Nile Delta quadrant area is the location of the Pyramid of Giza. And what's more than that is the Arabic word Giza means border and edge. In other words, traveling from the north to the south, you travel into a more arid, desert-like. When you pass the pyramid, you're in a more desert-like environment. And when you travel from the south to the north, along the Nile River, you are in a much more fertile, arable type, cultivated environment. So it is in fact a border and edge showing a separation between two types of terrain. It is, in fact, showing and giving the typology of a gateway. And so you'll probably find in your own personal study some other connections with the number 4 as well. But, feel free to leave that in the comments. Thank you for your time and have a blessed day.